All right, here we go. Part 3 of our Module 5 demand lecture, page 6 of our notes. We discussed that the demand for a good can change. It can either increase and move to the right or decrease and move to the left. And we said that when demand changes, if we're whatever good they're talking about, it's because of something besides that good. Like if it's because of something besides the price of that good. So if we're talking about the marker, right? The price of the marker stayed the same, but more people ran out and bought it. What could cause that? That would be an increase in demand. And what could cause that? Well, we have 5 things that could cause that increase or a decrease in demand, and we call those the 5 factors that cause a change in demand. So we're going to go through each of those 5 factors, each of those things that could cause the demand curve to either shift to the right or shift to the left, like we went over on page 5. So number 1, it says the price of a related good. There are 2 types of related goods, substitutes and complements. Substitutes, you could either buy this one or that one. Complements, they go together. You're going to buy this one and that one. So substitute goods, for example, hamburgers and hot dogs, Coke and Pepsi, and there's a million other examples. And if you think about it, if the price of Coke goes up, probably fewer people will buy Coke, which means they'll go buy Pepsi instead. So the price of Coke going up can cause the demand for Pepsi to go up. If the price of Coke goes up, it can cause that situation where the demand curve for Pepsi goes up. And it's because if the price of good A goes up, then the quantity demanded of good A goes down, therefore people will buy good B instead. So I have an example of that from my life. So my example is that I used to drink soda. I don't anymore, but I used to drink quite a bit of it. And in the old teachers' lounge, we had 2 soda machines, Coke and Pepsi, and each of them sold their soda for $1.25. And about once a day, I would go down and get myself either a Diet Coke or a Diet Pepsi, and I would just sort of decide on my way there how much I would get or which one I would get. So one day I'm going down to the teacher's lounge with my $1.25, and I'm like, you know what? I think it's a Diet Pepsi kind of day. And, out of the 5 sodas that I bought a week, probably 2 of them were Diet Pepsis and 3 of them were Diet Cokes on average. So I go down to that Diet Pepsi machine, and guess what they had done? They had changed the price from $1.25 to $1.50. And the Coke machine across the room was still $1.25. So guess what I did? I was like, oh, $1.50. And I marched myself over to the Coke machine. I got a Diet Coke instead. And that day, the price of Diet Pepsi went up, and my demand for Diet Coke went up. Because before that day, I had been demanding about 3 Diet Cokes a week. And after that, I demanded 5. Because I never went and got those 2 Diet Pepsis a week again. I just went all the Diet Coke, even though it was only a quarter. Maybe I was a little stingy. I don't know. But see how the price of Pepsi changed and my personal demand for Coke or Diet Coke went up? So that is how substitute goods work. So in our margins here, we can write it like this. If the price of good A goes up, then demand for good B goes up. And the opposite is true as well. If the price of good B goes down, demand for good B goes down. For example, what if I had walked into there that day and instead of the Pepsi being $1.50, they had lowered the price to $1? I bet my demand for that Diet Pepsi would have gone up. The other type of related goods besides substitute goods are complementary goods or complements. So it means that I will buy this and that. They go together. Some examples of that are iPads and iPad cases or covers, and phones and phone cases, and toys and batteries or Nintendos and Nintendo games. All right. So that means that if the price of good A goes up, therefore the quantity demanded of good A goes down, and therefore fewer people will buy good B too. Because if they're complements, they go together. So in my house, we have a Nintendo Switch. That's kind of like our big activity these days, right? Lots of Mario Kart. And if the price of the Nintendo were to go up, right? The Nintendo Switch itself, if that price went up, fewer people would buy it. And then that would impact the games that go with the Switch, right? So maybe the price of the games didn't change, but if the price of the Switch changes, then the demand for the games, that complementary good, will change as well. Okay. iPads and iPad covers. Let's say the price of iPads go way down to like $100, and a lot of people start going out and buying those iPad covers. Well, then they're going to go buy the cases that go with them, or the keyboards that go with them. And so even though the price of the case or the keyboard didn't change, the demand for it will go up. So here we have, if price of good A goes up, the demand for good B goes down. Okay. Our next thing is changes in income. So remember, we're talking about what can cause that whole demand curve to shift. What can cause one of these? Demand curve 1, demand curve 2, right? Where more people will buy it at every single price. Well, change in income, in people's income, can change that as well. And there are two different things when it comes to income. There are normal goods, and then there are inferior goods. Now, normal is normal. Inferior goods mean that they're not very good. It means that in general, if people have more money, they will go and they won't buy them. And so examples of inferior goods, those are things often sold at the dollar store, once in a while at Target and Walmart. Now, I am not making fun of these places. I'm just saying that people with a lot of money tend not to buy the like generic brands or the inferior goods. So for normal goods, when people make more money, they'll buy more of it, right? When income goes up, the demand for normal goods goes up. And that's pretty normal, right? If we make more money, we're going to buy more stuff. But for inferior goods, when people make more money, they buy less of it. Income goes up, the demand for inferior goods goes down. And that's just because they probably wouldn't buy that if they had more money. All right, moving on to our next page, last page, page 7. Changes in taste. This is kind of the most, obvious one. Changes in taste. So that's like things that are trending, things that are in style, things that are popular, preferences. And this can be caused by celebrities. It can be caused by the news, new health info, styles, trends, all of that kind of stuff. So if things become more popular, therefore demand will go up. More people will buy it. And when things become less popular, demand will go down. Now, the last time I taught this, it was right before the pandemic hit. And the example that we came up with was false eyelashes. Because false eyelashes, those fake eyelashes, are super popular right now. And the demand for them went up because they're in style, they're on trend. It wasn't because of the law of demand. It wasn't because like the price of the eyelashes went down so everyone went to buy them. It's because they were stylish. Okay, we are seeing a lot of changes in demand these days because of the pandemic. For example, face masks, right? All of a sudden, people are demanding face masks like we never were before. And, not because they're stylish, but, because of, I suppose we could say, new health info. All right. Number 4, changes in the expectation of the future price of the good. So it says, if people believe the price will go up in the future, they will buy blank of it right now. Now, this often deals with bigger ticket items. like houses and cars. Um, so if you think the price is going to go up, let's say you read an article like, oh, the price of those is going to go up, so I better get mine now, then what will happen to the demand for it right now? Are people going to buy more of it or less of it? If you think the price is going to go up in a month, you're more likely to go out and buy it right now. So they will buy more of it right now. So therefore, demand goes up. And then if you think the price will go down in the future, if you think it'll be on sale in the future, then you will wait to buy it. So they will buy less of it right now and demand will go down. Okay, and then finally, number 5, changes in the number of consumer. This one we get, right? Population. More people, more demand. Less people, less demand. So a question like on a quiz for that one might be like, what would happen for demand at items at the corner store if a large apartment building got built next to it? Well, there'd be more people living there, so the demand for that store would increase. All right, don't forget to write your summary, and I will see you at our Google Meets. Bye.